Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining the castles of Mad King Ludwig. In the castles of Mad King Ludwig, it is everyone's job to build the castles for the king. Now, because the king is mad, he wants various things in his castle, and those are represented by these 4 tokens. I'll go through what those icons mean later. Each of us, in turn, has a go at being the master builder, shown by this marker. Yellow is currently the master builder. The master builder, first off, flips cards over from that particular pile, 6 and 7, and then finds those particular cards within these tiles. So we've got 3 on that shape, two of the 450s, which are those guys there, 1 of the 100s, and 1 of the 200s. The master builder then decides which of these cards he wants to build, and decides which cards he thinks the other, or which tiles he thinks the other players will not want to build. He then lines them up below each of these values, and then starting with the player on his left, each player will then purchase those tiles. Now they're actually purchasing those tiles from the person who is the master builder. When it eventually gets back around to the master builder's turn, the master builder will purchase whichever tile he wants from the bank. When you purchase a tile, you will need to place it, everyone has a starting foyer, so we place it coming off the foyer. So for example, the red player has purchased this one for 4,000, so he will give 4,000 monies to the yellow player. He places that on his foyer, and then the next player will do the same until everyone's taken a tile. Yellow going last will choose to purchase something. He might purchase this one if that's left. For 2,000, he'll pay the 2,000 to the bank and build it, and build that particular room onto his tile. Noting that doors must join onto doors squarely. So every piece of the castle will build up from there. Give yourself a little bit of space to build that properly, because you are going to need some space. I'm keeping it tight for the moment for the camera. So that's the essence of the game. Play continues until this pile of cards runs out. That pile is the pile that tells us which rooms to build. The winner of the game is the person who has the most points on the point tracker at the top here at the end of the game. You gain points by placing rooms. So you will notice the top corner of this room says that this room is worth 1 point when you build it in your castle. This one here is worth 2. You will then get bonus points depending on what those rooms are sitting next to. So this room is worth 3 bonus points for every music room that it's next to, or every outside garden or outdoor area that it's next to. These 4 tokens here show what the king has actually asked for in his castle. The person who builds the most of each of those tokens will get an extra 8 points at the end of the game. The person who's built the second most will get an extra 4, third most 2 points, and the fourth most 1 point. You must build at least 1 of the type of room that the king requires in order to qualify for any of those extra points. The markers show either the type of room, the shape of the room, completed rooms, or open rooms, rooms that are incomplete. Each of the room types is listed here on the card that everyone has, and on top of those favors that everyone is trying to build up, everyone has some bonus cards like these from that deck just there. Everyone starts with 3 of these. There are ways to pick up more of these through the game, which I'll go to in a second. Those bonus cards have similar icons on them. So in this case, you get 3 points for every one of these rooms that you've built in your castle. That's the food rooms. This one's worth 2 points for every size 150 room, which is this pile just here that you have in your castle. That's a point for every square room. That's a point for every 5,000 coins you have at the end of the game. This one's 7 points if you have at least one of every type of room in your castle. And this one's 8 points if you have at least one of every shape room and size room. That's the basics of those icons. They're relatively easy to cut through, so I won't bother doing a second video to explain the iconography on this game. The other thing to remember is that there are bonuses which are listed on this card again for every time you complete a room. So when you complete a utility room, you'll take 2 bonus cards and keep one of them. So you choose which one you want to hang on to. This is a utility room. Each of the cards shows the type of room in their bottom corner as well. So you can very easily see utility rooms, a lot of them only have the one door. Completing a room is covering up all the doors. So this is a complete room. This is an incomplete room because of that open door. However, if this room was built there next, then this is now a complete room. So you get to score that. Noticing also that this, if I was to place this as my second purchase, this room here would gain another 3 points on top of the 2 I would get for placing that room, simply because I've placed this room next to another food room. Any of the cards that are left on the board are able to be moved to somewhere else by the next master builder. And every card or tile that was left gets a coin on it, making each of these rooms slightly more attractive. So if they ended up getting placed there, we would get some new ones and put them in the other spaces. But this one is suddenly a free room. I will point out, however, this is a downstairs room. You can only build downstairs rooms if you have stairs. Stairs can be purchased from here and are always worth the 3,000 just marked there. This is what stairs look like, and there's also corridors which can be purchased in the same way. The other rule that is important to understand is that there must always be at least one open doorway going to the outside. So this one here, this actually has 3 open doorways at the moment. But you gotta be really careful. There's always at least one space that you can put a new room as it comes through. Whenever you place a new room, always make sure that you take your score, because that will add up. It's really hard to add it up later if you haven't done so. And then there's always the final scoring, so you won't be able to see who's winning because you just simply don't know what's in everyone's secret pile. That should be about it to be able to get the Castles of Mad King Ludwig to the table. I hope that this has been helpful. If you have any games that you want to be Gamesplained, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram @thegamesplainer to see what games I'm playing. And until next time, enjoy gaming.